Final word, Rosie, of what has been a monumental night. You were fantastic.
Listen, understand it was a big nostalgia hit. It got our attention. It was a big financial promotion for everybody, and it actually worked. Now, the fight was absolutely terrible, and it feels like Paul was holding back his punches. At times, Mike Tyson was holding back punches.
Is this rigged or not rigged? See how hard Mike punches? Everyone thinks that Mike is like toying with him, like Jake Paul is Mike's prison.
The boxing world is in chaos after an audio clip was leaked, where Jake Paul allegedly said, "I got your money" to Mike Tyson during their recent fight. If this is true, it has led to claims that the event was planned and meant to be more of a show than a real sports competition.
If these guys went full out on each other, right, it would look bad on Jake Paul for knocking out a guy that's twice his age, right? And it would look bad on Mike Tyson if he got knocked out as well. It would tarnish his legacy. Not only that, if Mike Tyson hit Jake Paul, knocked him out, it would ruin the legacy that Paul wants to leave as he continues to fight. He didn't want to tarnish that, losing to a guy who's twice his age.
The audio, which quickly went viral, has caused chaos on social media and brought back the debate about whether celebrity and exhibition boxing matches are real. The uproar started when Konos, a former user, tweeted that Jake Paul was caught telling Mike Tyson, "I got your money." He asked, "What more proof do we need that these fights are rigged?" This statement got a lot of attention, with both fans and critics sharing the leaked audio clip and analyzing every second of it. The hashtag scripted fight started trending within hours, drawing a lot of attention to the controversy. The alleged recording, taken during a quiet moment in the fight, seems to show Jake Paul making the comment while holding on to Tyson. Some people think it was just a harmless joke, while others believe it's clear proof the fight was planned. Critics also mentioned that the way the fight went and how little real action there was between the fighters had already raised suspicions. The leaked audio has only made the situation worse.
So we'll look back either way. So to answer your question, 100% this was fixed. They sat it out and talked about it. It went to decision because that was a neutral way to end it. And it went the full 8 rounds to keep people entertained. They didn't want it to end quickly. 100% it was fixed. It was smart on them. A big money grab.
Boxing fans, both serious and casual, have shared their thoughts, with many expressing disappointment. Some think the event was just a big payday for both fighters, further ruining the reputation of crossover bouts. Boxing experts called it a disgrace to the sport, saying that if the audio is real, it proves what many feared: these fights are more about money and show than real boxing. They believe it goes against what boxing stands for. On the other hand, Jake Paul's fans say his charm and ability to create buzz are bringing new attention to boxing, even if it means mixing in entertainment. At 58, Mike Tyson couldn't perform like he did at 27, and Paul won easily against the former heavyweight champion. Even Tyson's coach, who had believed in Tyson's chances, had to admit defeat. The event took place at the Dallas Cowboys Stadium in Arlington, Texas, with around 70,000 fans, some of whom paid up to $2 million for ringside seats. The 3 judges gave Paul a unanimous decision, scoring the fight 8-0, 7-2, 7-9, 7-3, and 7-9, 7-3. Big names from the combat sports world like Dana White and Eddie Hearn shared their thoughts on the match. White had expressed concerns about Tyson's health, but noted that Tyson made it through all 8 rounds without getting hurt. Although both fighters made a lot of money, not everyone was convinced the event was real.
You know, Shannon, you're Super Bowl champion. You know what I'm saying? We've been covering sports. I've been covering sports for 30 years. It's one thing for an exhibition here, there, whatever. But you can't continue to be allowed to build a career without getting into the ring with fighters. And if I remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, Shannon, I think the Mexican monster himself, David Benavidez, I might be wrong, but I think it was him. He said, "I'll fight him." Now, this is a man that fights at 168, Molly. Jake Paul was in the ring at 228.
But
No, this is what I'm saying. I'm saying he was in the ring at 228, and you got a cat 60 pounds lighter than him saying, "I'll fight you." You know why? Because what they're saying is, when you gonna fight real boxers?
Jake Paul's girlfriend was accused by fans of knowing the fight's outcome before it happened, but there is no proof of this. After the fight, Sarah Bailey, the current WBA Women's World Lightweight Champion and part of Lucas Bod's team, said she believed the match was fixed. She and B, another fighter, shared this opinion, but there's no proof it's true. After the fight, Paul admitted that he took it easy on Tyson because he could see Tyson was getting tired. Paul said, "I tried to give the best fight I could, but when someone is just surviving, it's hard to make it exciting." He added that people always have something to say. From Tyson's point of view, Paul showed respect, especially in the 8th round when Paul bowed to Tyson. and Tyson tapped Paul's glove in return. Paul is already looking to fight Conor McGregor next in a boxing and MMA match. Whether Tyson's criticism of Logan Paul, Jake's older brother, was sincere is still unclear. Jake Paul and Mike Tyson are at the center of a storm with accusations suggesting their fight was fixed. These accusations come from an undercard fighter who said the result might have been decided in advance. Sarah Bailey and B both said it was fixed, but there's no proof. After the fight, fans and critics had strong reactions. Some fans even started leaving before the final decision was announced, showing their disappointment with boos. When asked about why he held back, Paul said he didn't want to hurt Tyson, especially since Tyson wasn't engaging as much. Paul also revealed that he had sprained his ankle 2 weeks before the fight and couldn't train properly, which affected his performance. Critics said the fight was unfair, with some claiming it was scripted. Reports said Netflix announced that the fight was watched by 60 million households worldwide, and the co-main event featuring Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano was likely the most watched women's sports event in U.S. history. There were also issues with the live stream, with many people complaining about technical problems. In the first round, Tyson seemed to trap Paul against the ropes and landed a strong left hook but didn't follow up, which made fans question if the fight was fixed. Some fans even claimed they heard Tyson say, "Whoops, I got to stop or I won't get paid," suggesting the fight was rigged. Paul has been accused of being involved in fixed matches before, such as his fight with Tommy Fury in February 2023. Before that fight, a script hinting at a fixed result appeared online, though Paul lost by split decision, which raised doubts. Some also thought his knockout against Tyron Woodley was staged, but Woodley denied it. After the fight, Paul said Tyson is a legend, and that it was an honor to fight him. Tyson said he fought for himself, not to prove anything to others. Despite their reputations, the debate continues, with some in the boxing world saying the fight was staged. Former super middleweight champion Carl Froch called it fake, saying the way Tyson and Paul shoved each other at the press conference showed it was planned. Tony Bellew, a former cruiserweight champion, accused Jake Paul of breaking a rule about the gloves. They had agreed to use 14-ounce gloves to reduce the impact of punches, but Paul wore 10-ounce puncher gloves, which Bellew said gave him an unfair advantage. The Texas Athletic Commission, which approved the fight, hasn't commented on the allegations. They had allowed the fight with certain rules to protect Tyson's health, like using 14-ounce gloves in 2-minute rounds. The debate about whether the fight was real or staged continues, with some seeing it as a true competition and others believing it was just a money-making event. Either way, the fight has sparked a bigger discussion about the authenticity of boxing and the growing role of celebrity-driven matches in the sport's image.
I mean, you don't get no kudos about, oh, he's 58. No, that's not what this is. This was not some a celebrity. This was not for some charity. No. We're going to do this. And Jake Paul, they asked Jake Paul, did he take his foot off the gas? Stephen A., this is what he said. Yeah, definitely a bit. I wanted to give the fans a show, but I didn't want to hurt someone that didn't need to be hurt.
Tyson, at 58 years old, struggled during the fight, throwing 97 punches but only landing 18. Paul's youth and fitness helped him outlast the older Tyson. With this win, Paul's professional record is now 1-1-1. While some of Tyson's fans were excited to see him back in the ring, others weren't impressed. Former heavyweight champion Evander Holyfield said the fight wasn't good, and NBA legend Magic Johnson called it sad. Johnson said he had to interrupt the fight, adding that it wasn't great for boxing. Paul's decision to fight a man nearly 30 years older than him was criticized, as he has fought other veterans past their prime, like Tyron Woodley, Anderson Silva, and Nate Diaz. Former heavyweight champion Tony Bellew said fans should stop watching Paul until he faces a healthy, in-prime opponent, Olympic gold medalist Nicola. Adams also said that if Tyson had been in his prime, the result would have been very different. She wrote on X, "A young Mike Tyson would have absolutely destroyed Jake Paul." The quality of the Tyson-Paul fight was made even more noticeable by the co-main event, where Katie Taylor and Amanda Serrano put on a great show. Taylor controversially kept her title, but the fight left fans divided. This fight is part of a trend where social media influencers move into professional combat sports. What started as a hobby has become a big money-making industry. Leading up to the fight, it felt like a real professional match with lots of tension, including a slap from Tyson at the weigh-in. Once the fight started, it was clear that Tyson's age showed, and he couldn't keep up with Paul. World champion Terence Crawford wrote on X, He looked like trash to train that long and only throw 97 punches. Paul later said he slowed down the fight to make it more entertaining, but some people saw this as more proof that the fight was fake. Along with public criticism, the fight became the target of memes on social media, with fans mocking the poor stream quality and the fight's disappointing nature. Ahead, Paul said he wants to fight Canelo Alvarez and challenged Conor McGregor to a mixed martial arts fight. Tyson, on the other hand, said he was grateful for the experience but didn't officially announce his retirement. He posted on X, "I almost died in June. I'm just happy I could stand toe-to-toe with a fighter half my age in front of 70,000 fans." Some reports also suggest that Jake Paul has been suspended. In boxing, suspensions often happen after fights, not only for serious in-ring actions but also for off-field issues like legal problems. Jake Paul's fight with Tyson resulted in a 24-day suspension, which is common for professional boxers. The Texas Department of Licensing requires a mandatory 3-day rest for each round fought, so after 8 rounds, both fighters must rest for 24 days. This rule helps protect the health of fighters. Both Tyson and Paul also have to undergo post-fight medical exams to decide if they need further suspensions. Jake Paul celebrated his win with a lavish party in Dallas, hosted by his betting company. The event took place in a $9 million mansion, where guests received wristbands to enter. Inside, there was plenty of seating and a well-stocked bar. DJ FV played hip-hop and EDM music, and a robot entertained the crowd with energetic dance moves.
I've never done that before. Sorry.
I was like, you love music.
Jake Paul arrived at the venue with his girlfriend Utah Leardam, his brother Logan Paul, and their golden retriever Thor. He wore multicolored shorts and a blue and white shirt. Inside the mansion, a fan gave him a book called Greatest of All Time, a tribute to Muhammad Ali. The guest list included former NFL player Des Bryant, model Amber Rose, Bachelorette alum Tyler Cameron, and former NBA player Al Harrington. Other notable guests were boxer Derek Sullivan, rapper 1900 Rugrat, Haley Welch, the host of the Viral Talk to a podcast, and Miles O'Neal, son of basketball legend Shaquille O'Neal.
At the after party.
I'm not dressed for the occasion.
The celebration took on a soulful vibe when the music changed to R&B hits by artists like Tevin Campbell and Brandy. Even though the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight is over, its impact is still being felt. In a surprise turn, the fight reportedly set a new record, surprising many. This record achievement led Andy Fang, co-founder of DoorDash, to congratulate Jake Paul. The big question is what record the fight broke and why the DoorDash co-founder is praising Paul and Tyson. The Netflix exclusive event became the top combat sports spectacle of 2024, with Paul's team showing marketing brilliance. The fight became hugely popular, with almost everyone talking about it. The event made $18 million in gate revenue, breaking the previous record held by Canelo Alvarez, who made $9 million. It also set a new NFL milestone, as DoorDash had more food delivery during the Paul Tyson fight than during the Super Bowl. The DoorDash CEO posted the news and congratulated Jake Paul and Mike Tyson on the well-promoted fight. After beating Tyson, Jake Paul is now aiming for a new challenge, former UFC champion Conor McGregor. But instead of a boxing match, Paul wants to fight McGregor in MMA. Paul challenged McGregor, saying they should fight in the octagon with no weight class. However, McGregor, who is much younger than Tyson, had other ideas. He responded with a meme, jokingly suggesting someone else for Paul to fight. Meanwhile, Jake Paul told Carl Froch to shut up after Froch called him out following the Tyson fight. Froch said he could beat Paul easily, but Paul fired back, saying he has done more in 4 years than Froch has in his whole life. Jake Paul has also faced criticism from Tony Bellew for wearing puncher's gloves during the fight. Bellew argued that Paul's gloves gave him an unfair advantage over Tyson. He also criticized the fight for happening in the first place and said Paul should not fight anyone who isn't healthy or in their prime. Despite his criticism, Bellew did praise Paul for showing respect to Tyson by not going for a knockout and letting Tyson survive. That's all from today's video. If you enjoyed it, remember to like, subscribe, and ring the bell icon to get notified about our future videos.